after watching the Minnesota Vikings just somehow get a win over the Chicago Bears yesterday, there's a couple things obviously you took away from it. Yes, the Vikings can't continue to win like this because, heart attacks, baby. It's just not great on my heart right now. I already have high blood pressure, mainly because I'm a Vikings fan, or at least that's what I tell my doctor. But if I'm being honest, there was another thing that kind of came out of yesterday's win for the Vikings, and I felt like it's kind of getting more and more obvious and probably shouldn't have taken us this long to figure out. Number one, yes, Justin Jefferson is a stud. Through the first quarter, 7 catches, 91 yards. Yes. But overall, what was it, 12 catches, 154 yards on the day? Yes, he's an absolute stud. But the biggest thing that I'm taking away from this really is the fact that, man, the Vikings are absolutely just stacked. Like, they have so many different wrinkles to this offense. I'm not talking about the wrinkles that, like, you want to get a better moisturizer, but there is so many different weapons for the Vikings on so many different levels. So, yes, it all starts and ends with Kirk Cousins. I understand all that. Through the first 5 games of the season, 4-1, on top of the NFC North, has completed about 66% of his passes for 7 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. That's a little uncharacteristic, like him to be even with those. He has been taking more risks, which I do appreciate, because in years past we have seen the quarterbacks that have taken too many risks and have not taken enough, have not taken enough risks, i.e. Christian Ponder, and have taken too many risks, like i.e. Brett Favre. But subject for another day. At the end of the day, Kirk Cousins is a very good football player. I think he has been what the Vikings are missing in terms of a leader from the quarterback position. I think he puts them in a lot of good areas to win the game, and he puts them in a lot of good situations. He really absolutely does. Justin Jefferson also doing his best impersonation of just being an absolute stud, because he is a stud. 1 for 123 yards, had that really nice throwback to Dalvin Cook, who should have, if he would have just followed Ed Ingram a little bit longer, he would have had a touchdown there, but it is what it is. But I think the biggest thing to take away here from, again, is the fact that the Vikings are absolutely stacked. So we covered Kirk Cousins, we covered Justin Jefferson, Ryan Wright. Tough day yesterday, but I think he'll bounce back. But Dalvin Cook. So if you can run the football in the NFL and you can do that, you're going to be fine. You're going to do a lot of different things. And I think, honestly, Dalvin Cook is an absolute stud, continues to be the heart and soul of that running game at times. But then comes Alexander Mattison. It's the fact that, yes, if Dalvin Cook does go down, you're really not that worried about it, because Alexander Mattison is a stud in his own right, having 100 yards, nearly 100 yards on the ground this year, as well as a touchdown. And then it's also the fact we have Jalen Reagor. Yes, he caught a touchdown, and we'll really get into that in a little bit, but it's the fact that if they would use him more in the backfield, you are 3 deep, 4 deep at running back, 5 deep actually with Kenny Nwangu and Ty Chandler, but Ty Chandler is actually going to be out a little bit. But Jalen Reagor is such an underrated weapon in my mind. He really needs to get a lot more run, a lot more carries, a lot more targets, and all of that different things, because I think he could do so many different things for this team. And then, yes, receiving, we talked about Justin Jefferson. He's a stud. We all get it. But you got Adam Thielen as that number 2, who, his production has been a little bit less than what we would have liked to start this season out, but it is what it is at this point. I think he's going to continually be that red zone guy that Kirk Cousins finds us, especially later in the season. But KJ Osborne, 5 catches, 41 yards yesterday, really showing that he is that solid number 3 option. And honestly, I think it's been pointed out by many different people that the Vikings are 3 deep at wide receiver. They could have 3 guys potentially that all have 1,000 yards receiving. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. But I think it's actually a really good probability. Irv Smith Jr., that's the thing. So, yes, through a certain portion of the game yesterday, Justin Jefferson was shut down in the second half. Now, he did make a very nice, huge catch later on in the game, especially during that last drive for the Vikings, in which Kirk Cousins, you love it, goes to score that go-ahead touchdown. But Irv Smith Jr., there was 4 catches, 45 yards. It's just the fact that there's just so many different wrinkles to this offense that, okay, you want to guard Justin Jefferson? Fine. They've got Adam Thielen. Okay, you guard Adam Thielen. They've got KJ Osborne. Fine. If that doesn't work, Irv Smith Jr. really is kind of just showing that the Vikings, he's just yet another wrinkle. Then you got Jalen Reagor on top of all of that. Johnny Munt, can we please stop doing designed tight end screens to Johnny Munt, please? I'm sorry, but that should have been Irv Smith Jr. It drives me nuts. But overall, you've got the solid running game. You've got the number 1 1, the number 2 wide receivers. You've got the quarterback that seems to be putting it all together. And then you also have the tight end that's dangerous as well. So when you talk about being and having so many different wrinkles to your offense, the Minnesota Vikings truly have it. And I would argue that they have arguably some of the best pieces in the entire NFL. Obviously, yes, you got teams like the Bengals, 3-headed wide receiver attack. Joe Mixon's a stud as well. But, when we talk about the offensive line that comes together, honestly, this offensive line has been playing very well right now. Christian Darrisaw, the left tackle there, had yet another weekend in which he did not allow a single pressure, over a 90.0 PFF pass blocking grade at left guard. You got Ezra Cleveland, who, quite honestly, he just continues to get better and better. Had a clean sheet yesterday. Garrett Bradbury, the center we were all complaining about forever, had himself a clean sheet yesterday and played very well down the line. So, top to bottom, yes, also Ed Ingram struggled a little bit at a couple of pressures. He's going to continually get better. Brian O'Neill had another tough game, kind of in a certain couple of perspectives, but I think he's going to figure it out, and get back on track to being the all-pro that he is. But overall, this Vikings offense, you've got the offensive line to go out along with it. You got these weapons. There's just so many things about this Vikings offense that are tough to stop, and I think that Kevin O'Connell and company are going to continually find ways to really exploit those against NFL defenses moving forward. But let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms. So give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put in the comment section down below and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about the Minnesota Vikings offense that has so many wrinkles.